You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode number 6 with Baylor Barbie. Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Iona Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am your host, Iona Garrett, and this is another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. I am simply thrilled to introduce my guest today, Baylor Barbie. Baylor, are you ready to stalk some success today?
I'm ready to talk success. I'm excited.
Well, good deal. Well, Baylor Barbie is a digital strategist, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and motivational speaker. He resides in Dallas, Texas, where he regularly competes as a triathlete and marathoner in cause-based endurance races. He is the founder and CEO of Iconic Inspiration Plus Strategy, a digital strategy agency that inspires businesses to operate with excellence and build sustaining relationships. Baylor also serves as co-founder of the motivational geared nonprofit Rehab Time organization. And in 2013, he was named by Dallas Convention and Visitors Bureau as one of the top 10 African American influencers in the city of Dallas. I've given our listeners just a little overview, Baylor, so take a minute, tell us about you personally because we want to get to know you. Then give us an overview of your business.
Get to know me. Well, a lot of it started with Rehab Time, which is our a nonprofit that we started a couple years back. And it was really geared toward helping people, A, be okay with yourself, and B, realizing you're capable of anything that you want to accomplish in life. And rather than talking about success all the time, we got our start talking about failures and what we did wrong, more or less on the premise of there's 10 doors, I might have gone down 9 wrong ones, I can tell you about those. That kind of transformed, compounded itself. My partner, Trent Shelton, and I, and then the rest of our Rehab Time team, built a large following, so much to the point that I started having businesses reach out to me and say, hey, can you help us with our platform, our social platform? And last year I took that to the next level and started the Iconic Inspiration Plus Strategy. A lot of times I would go to a corporation, I would speak there, inspire them, but I realized, hey, I don't want to just inspire people to motivate people to be rah, rah, rah. How can I turn this into a sustainable business for people? How can I really help the people that I'm speaking to? And so I turned that into an organization that allows me to help them with their digital strategy and overall company direction.
Wow, that's outstanding. No, I really like that. That's great. Well, Baylor, we're going to dive way into your journey a little later in the interview. But before we do, we always like to start off at Success Stalkers Radio with a success quote. So to really get that motivation ball rolling, so take it away.
Okay, well, I think if you look at success as being better than other people, then true excellence is about continual mastery of self. And what I mean by that, don't worry about what they're doing. Focus on being the best you can be.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. And so if you can, Baylor, give me an example of how you applied that in your journey.
Going all the way back, so I went to Baylor University. I was a walk-on football player, and I had dreams like everybody else of being an athletic scholarship. And really, every day, day in, day out, I just did what I felt I needed to do. I gave my best effort. There were people that were better than me, but rather than focus on how good somebody else is or should I transfer because somebody else is getting more playing time, I continued to work on my game. And I soon found out that people start dropping off. And because of that, I ended up earning my athletic scholarship, which fueled them to pay for my master's degree and various other things because I focused on myself, not the allure of what everybody else was doing.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, we're again here at Success Talkers Radio. We're all about your journey, and that's what we want to talk about today because we want to get the story. so, so what
Okay.
before we go further, what I want to focus on first and foremost is a failure, Baylor. If you can take us back to a time where you fell flat on your face, and I want you to take us there with you. We want to feel like we were there with you and share some lessons that you learned after that.
Okay. Well, I was living in Waco, Texas. This was about 2007, 2008, actually. I was doing some marketing for this company. I put all my eggs in a basket of somebody that talked a great game. In my mind, I was going to get rich. Everything was going to be great. Under he was promising me the world based on my work. I'm a few months from moving to Dallas. I get to where there's literally less than a month before I move to Dallas, and this big payday that's supposed to come, supposed to pay for my move and launch me on the path to the riches. He started acting funny and disappeared on me. So I learned that, I'm 3 days from having to move to Dallas and start a whole new life. And instead of having tens of thousands of dollars, I had $67 in my name. and I look back and I blame myself for the fact that I saw those red flags. They were there the whole time. And I ignored those red flags. And I can tell you and everybody else listening, if you see a red flag, feel a red flag, hear a red flag, do not ignore it. It's there for a reason. Also, I look back and realize I didn't really have any legal leeway because I never signed a contract. Everything sounded good. We were great friends. And that's the hardest lesson I have ever had to learn was never not sign a contract. I don't care if it's your best friend or your brother or your sister. If it's business and there's money involved, sign contracts. So I fell flat on my face, 3 days from a move, $67 for my name, trying to figure out how I was going to make this journey, this transition, and move on to my new life.
Wow. That I really felt like I was actually right there with you. Wow, that's something. That's really something. Well, I know since then you've actually flourished. So we're gonna get into that now. So Baylor, let me ask. Let's go forward, okay? So, and let's transition to the other end of the spectrum, the aha moment. That light bulb moment, because just like you've had lessons that you've learned from failures, you've also had some amazing ideas that have helped you to become successful. So we want that story. So just tell us one if you can, one of your aha moments. And remember, take us there. We want to be there with you when you have that moment. And once you do that, then I want you to tell us how you turn that light bulb moment into some success for yourself.
Actually, my aha moment came from at the bottom of the bottom. 2009, on the world, from the world's point of view, everything looked great. This is before we had started Rehab Time. We had a successful rock rap / hybrid, hip hop group. We were going around touring, selling out shows, doing all the, living that quote unquote rock star lifestyle that looks appealing. But I was empty on the inside. At the same time, I wasn't treating the longtime girlfriend I had at the time, wasn't treating her very well. Just nothing in my life. Everything looked good on the outside, but internally, I knew that I wasn't me. And I'll never forget it. It was September 25th of 2009. I'll never forget it. I guess I'd been partying too much, doing too much. I didn't realize I had gained a lot of weight. I literally walked by the mirror, didn't recognize the man in it, literally stopped, looked at the mirror, and for the first time in probably, years, I actually looked at myself and asked myself, who are you?
Wow.
Like, who is this? So I was living the life publicly of who I wanted to be, but that wasn't who I actually was. And fighting those who you want to be versus who you are by trying to run from who you really are, realize that at the end of the day, you were really a scared person, an insecure person, weren't valuing your health, weren't valuing the relationships, the things that you needed to value. It seems like, it's tough, but I look at it and I literally saw that person in the mirror just crumble, literally, to the floor. Those big tears, those ugly tears.
Yeah, I know what you
and,
mean.
And I just told myself, I mean, literally from that day, I was like, I cannot live this life. I cannot, this person, I cannot go through my life trying to appease other people and trying to put on this facade when that's not me. And I told myself from that day forward, I was like, whether people like me or whether they don't, I have to be happy with the man in the mirror. And that's the first thing I've learned to do is wake up every morning. Are you happy with the man in the mirror? Can I sleep good at night? And can I wake up content with who I am? And through that authenticity, rehab time was kind of born out of that. And that's what I realized people related to. My success has come not so much from accolades or what I've done, but from being able to just be me in public. I tell people all the time, very few people can actually say they're a professional themselves if they were to have a business card of their life. And I've really just tried to master that, being just me, all the good, all the bad, as transparent as possible. And I think that's where my success in the various ventures, whether it's speaking or whether it's helping clients, is just through that authenticity.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's great. That's great. And, also, too, I want to shift to for another minute because I want to shine a spotlight on you for just a minute, okay?
Okay.
I want to know if you can tell us, what would you say is one of your proudest entrepreneurial moments that you can remember?
One of my proudest entrepreneurial moments, I think...
Our career.
Honestly, I think it's not just me, but what we've done at Rehab Time. In Rehab Time, like I said, it's our motivation organization, and just to see the lives that we're actually really touching. We've been in situations where we've been out speaking and have had fans tell us, "You've literally saved my life." Literally, had the gun in my mouth about to do it, and a video came across my screen on Facebook that I looked at, and it say, when you get the letters, people telling me, daily that, hey, I was literally about to give up on life, and read something you wrote or saw something you said, and it helped me decide to give it one more day. That's my biggest. I'm a big believer in people. I could talk about personal accolades, but to me, anything you can do in your life to give somebody else a chance to succeed in theirs, even if it's just by making it to the next day. Mm-hmm. There's not a better accomplishment than that. You can't put a price on people. So I would put that kind of thing over anything I could ever personally attain.
Absolutely. That's just priceless. I mean, that I can't even imagine what that must feel like to get those types of letters. I do get a lot of, people that correspond to me saying how I've inspired them, and things like that. But I'm telling you, it's just one of the greatest rewards when you can truly change a life. And I believe that's what we're here to do. And, even with this podcast that I've created, because it was a God-given idea, of course.
Absolutely.
But, I just love to help people. So I wanted to create a platform that could inspire people, motivate people, but actually help them to change their lives by bringing people like yourself on our podcast that can share their story and share their journey. Because it's not about me, it's about them. And that's why I'm doing this. So,
and I love that. I think that's what we need more of in the world, is people that aren't about them. So many people trying to take in the world. A few that give, I think, can truly make a difference. So that's why I'm excited to be here today.
Well, thank you. And I've been waiting for this interview for 2 weeks. I've been so excited. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper, okay? So, you and I both know what it's like to be an entrepreneur and how sometimes it can be a roller coaster of emotions.
To say the least.
Yeah, so you can be up today, and within the next 24 hours you're frustrated and ready to quit.
Absolutely.
So I want you to tell us, Baylor, how do you keep your focus? How do you keep that end result in mind each day?
I think the way I'm able to do it is by not focusing on an end result. I wake up every day, and I tell people this all the time. You never have a stagnant day. Life is really a mountain. You are climbing it. If you think you're standing there, you're sliding down the mountain. So what I try to do every day is, how can I top what I did yesterday? I don't look at it in terms of, because I used to make the mistake of always looking at the mountaintop, only exclusively at the mountaintop. And when you have those bad days and you have those steps back, it starts to hurt you. And after a while, that's how I think people quit, because they feel like, I'm never going to get there. But luckily for me, I learned that, if you think about it, I actually was in Denver and actually climbed the mountain. I don't know if you've ever climbed a mountain, but you realize if you get to the mountaintop, there's actually nothing up there. After a certain point, the tree line, things stop growing. So, from a parallel to life, it helped me realize, yes, it's a journey, but enjoy the actual journey. All the growth, all the life, everything around you is on the journey. It's not at the top. At the end of the day, you shouldn't have anything in your life where you can actually reach the top. I'm about continual growth, and if I get to the top of the mountain, then what's there left for me to do? So I've just learned there's beauty in the journey, and take it all in while you continue to climb. And life is about the ascent, not the destination. And when you enjoy that, every day is a great day because you don't know what you're going to come across.
Yeah, well, you certainly helped me to change my perspective on climbing that mountain now. That's good stuff right there. That's good. Got to use that.
Thanks.
I'll give you credit though.
Hey, as long as it's out there, we're good. We get.
Well, listen, Baylor, I want to talk now about some of your latest projects. I know you're a success stalker at heart. I know you are.
Oh, absolutely.
So tell us some new projects that you're working on. If you can do that.
Absolutely.
That you're really excited about right now.
Some new projects I'm working on. I'm putting together my team and I a college tour in the fall. So I'll be speaking at colleges across the United States all fall as part of it's kind of called the Excellence Tour, and really just trying to help, college-age kids focus on excellence as they move to the next part of their life and start their careers and things like that. So I'm really excited. We're putting all those dates together, a lot of major colleges and some small ones too. On top of that, and you're the first to know this.
Wow, feel privileged.
I'm working on along with the new book that I just put out, Idea of Excellence. I'm actually working on an online course geared towards success, really helping you. And it'll be a free course, but it's going to allow people to really hone in on who they are, where they're trying to go, and how they're going to get there. I don't believe in telling people exactly how you need to do it, but I'm a big believer that if you ask the right questions, people have all the right answers. I mean, I think that even goes back to scripturally. Everything you have has been provided for you. So what I'm trying to do with this excellence course that I'm putting together is really just ask the right questions so that, everybody can have, like we talked about earlier, that aha moment. And I want them to have it without having to hit the rock bottom. I want them to be able to be on the ascent and realize, hey, I could tweak this. But a lot of times it's not really, I think people think you have to have a complete life change. Sometimes it's just a little tweak, and that'll get you there. So those are the two big things, preparing for the tour and getting this excellence online course ready. So like I said, you're the first to know that. It cat's out of the bag now.
I'm so excited. I am so excited. Let's just stay there for a minute because, I'm really excited about your book. I can't wait to get it and read it. I want to talk a little bit more about that too in a minute, but also your tour, that's going to be awesome. And your course, and we love to partner with you on that. I'm saying that right now on the show, but we love to partner with you if possible.
We can definitely do that. Like I said, I'm about I like working with people who are working to help other people as well. That's kind of, my mantra. If you get around people who have the similar goals and similar ideals and purposes, big things happen.
Absolutely. And, it's just my goal to put as many, people like yourself in front of our listeners that can help them get to the next level in their lives. So definitely, most definitely.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, now this is my favorite part of the interview, this success round. So what I want to do is throw some questions at you, and I want you to come back at me with some knockout answers. Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough. Let's get into the boxing match.
Well, what was it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you got started?
Actually, I've never worked for anybody else. I've since day one, I knew I couldn't do it, so I had to find a way to make a way, and I've been doing it ever since.
Wow. Okay. Well, what is the best business advice you've ever received?
Not all money is good money, and not all clients are good clients. Don't be afraid to turn down clients for the sake of money because that stress is not worth it.
Yes, that's so true. I can relate to that. And so, can you share one of your daily personal habits that you believe attributes to your success?
I wake up early. You have to wake up early. I have my workouts done and my scripture read all before 6 a.m., 7 days a week. There's no way you can sleep in. Don't lie to yourself and think you can sleep in and catch up with those of us that are up working.
Yes, I know that's right. Do you have an internet resource or business tool that you can share with our listeners, Baylor?
Yeah, I use a thing called Teamwork PM. I think if you have a team more than just you, it's an online organizer, planner, things like that. You can work on projects together, big project manager. But now that we live in a world where we're not always in the same situation, helps keep everybody in line, everybody organized, everybody knowing exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish and when you're trying to accomplish it by. So I think it's at teamworkpm.net. I encourage everybody to use it. And then Google Docs, collaborative. I'm a big believer in collaborative work, and Google Docs allows you to work on things together as well.
Yeah, it does. I use that myself. Yeah, definitely. So, what book? What book would you recommend to our listeners? Now, listen. I know. We're gonna recommend your book, of course.
Right. Well, then aside from my book, obviously, a book that everybody.
I recommend your book too, of course.
Thank you. The book that everybody should read. It's by Simon Sinek, and it's called Start with Why. And what it's about is the premise that people buy why you do something, not what you do. If you're an entrepreneur or just somebody in general that wants to be successful, I mean, I think that is the number one book that I almost force people in my circle to read. And I ask them about it. So it's Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
Okay. Any other books?
Another book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, probably my favorite book of all time. It's technically a fiction book per se, but it really helps you figure out your journey in life and helps you see some things about where you are and how you can be and really helping you be happy in the now. Too many of us think that happiness or success is going to make us happy, but we don't ever define what success is, so therefore we're never really truly happy. So it's about helping you be happy right now, content with who you are, but then progressive enough to then move on to something better.
Wow, that's going to be my next book after yours.
Perfect.
Just yesterday, I was interviewing a guest, and he mentioned that book. So this is the second time I'm hearing it. So
Awesome.
I'm definitely adding that to my list. Yeah, most definitely. And your book. So what about your book?
My book, my new book is called Idea of Excellence. And what I realized, I set out to write a book about success, honestly. That was my first thing. And then I realized, I said, what is it about the upper 1% of the successful people? What is it about the Martin Luther Kings? What is it about the Steve Jobs? What is it about the J.K. Rowlings that really just set them apart from just success? And then I realized, I said, these people, none of them ever talked about money. None of them ever talked about power. They only focused on giving their all to the task at hand, whatever they felt their purpose was. And that's why I literally came up with what I consider the idea of excellence. And so the book takes you through really kind of helping you put a scope on what excellence is, and then gives you the qualities and some things, how you can actually apply that to your real life. And so that's the premise of it, and that's what the tour will be about. That's what the course will be about. So
I'm
really
just
trying
so
to
excited about that. I really am.
Yeah, so
Because I know it's going to help me.
and well, that's what we're after. And ironically, when I started looking, I assumed there would be a lot of people talking about excellence. Nobody was. There's literally not very many books at all on the topic of excellence.
Wow. Well, you can lead the way.
That's the goal.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, my last success round question is, I want you to let's just have some fun for a second, okay?
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world, identical to Earth, but you knew no one. And you still have all the same experience and knowledge that you currently have today, but your food is taken care of, your shelter is taken care of, but you only have a laptop and $500. What would you do in the next 7 days?
I would start a Facebook fan page and a Twitter account. That's
Okay.
that's what I would do. I'm a big believer. Facebook is where you build a community. Twitter is how you can hop into any conversation. So if I don't know anybody, I'm going to jump into an online world. That's what I know. 'Cause that's what built our foundation to where we are today. So if I knew what I know now, I would just replicate the same thing. That's honestly what I would do. I think through there, that's how you make connections. Try to drive people to your Facebook page. Continue to be authentic with people and rebuild what I've already built again. So
build that network again.
I would save my $500. If you're an entrepreneur, that emergency fund turns into, you know how as an entrepreneur, how many emergency funds you go through. So,
Lord,
you don't look to spend that 500.
Easily. I know so well. Well, Baylor, it has just been a delight, and I've really enjoyed hearing your journey today, and I know our listeners have also. But before we end this, I would like for you to just give our success stalkers, some parting advice or a parting piece of advice and guidance, and then, share the best way they can find you, and then we'll say goodbye.
Okay. Best parting advice is, if it truly matters to you, you're going to be able to accomplish it. What I mean by that is whatever it is that you say you love to do, make sure it's not money motivated. If the only reason you're jumping into a venture or taking on a client or pursuing what you say you love is because you think it's going to make you bukus of money, you'll end up hating it. And I've made that mistake of chasing money. Now, it's kind of like when you're growing up in those bad relationships, one person has to chase the other. So either you chase money or it chases you. You never both come together. So focus on doing literally what you love with nothing else but knowing that, hey, if I get to do this every day, my life is good. And money, it's jealous too. It will come find you. So if that's what you're after, focus on your passion every day. Make sure that you truly, truly, truly love what it is you're doing, and everything else will take care of itself. I never in a million years could have assumed I'd be on stages speaking to people. I just love to talk. and I never set out to say I'm going to go be a motivational speaker or whatever they call it. I just share my story with as many people as possible, and next thing you know, people are asking me to come tell it live. So, it's really just about pursuing your passion day in and day out.
I love it. And, and our goal, too, in the future is to have some events. And I'm going to ask you right now, so everybody's listening, I would love for you to come and speak at our events, too.
I'm the first one there. So I got my bags packed. I'm on my way.
Well, can you tell our listeners how they can find you, Baylor?
They can find me, first and foremost, Facebook.com, Baylor Barbie Win. That success has been a part of me. I've been a success stalker. Barbie is BARBEE. Twitter, Instagram, all the other things, YouTube, Pinterest is Baylor Barbie. And then BaylorBarbie.com. Connect with me on these platforms because I'm here to help people just like you're trying to do. So if you have questions about your business, things like that, listeners, I'm here for you. That's my purpose. What I get fulfillment out of is helping other people become successful as well. That's success to me.
Outstanding. I love it. I tell you, you just really have just given us such a great time today on this interview. It's probably one of my best interviews. I really love this.
Awesome.
And I want to say this too. I know that they've gotten some really great takeaways and some nuggets, from this today. But I want you to know also that, everything we chatted about today will also be available on our website. And our listeners can also go to successstalkers.com/Baylor Barbie.
Perfect.
And everything we talked about today will be on the show notes page. So, Baylor, we really appreciate you and for being so generous and transparent also, with your journey today.
Well, thank you. I love it. I love the mission behind Success Stalkers, and I really think that you're going to help a lot of people with what you're doing over there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And for everyone out there listening, thank you for tuning in. And until our next episode, keep stalking success. In today's takeaway, Baylor said we should enjoy the journey because all of the growth, all of the life is all around you on that journey. Because once you reach the top of the mountain, what will there be left to do? So take it all in while you continue to climb, because life is about the ascent, not the destination. So, success stalkers, I challenge you to keep climbing the mountain. But remember, it's your journey up the mountain that matters the most. Embrace it and keep stalking success. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from these inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers Radio podcast on iTunes. And if you found value in this episode, give us a review, hopefully 5 stars. You may also visit us at successstalkers.com. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.